Hey guys, Andrew Berg here. Today I want to talk about 5 ways you can get better at music as we near the end of 2020. Now, 2020 is the most important part here because, as we know, being inside all day, it gets pretty rough. Most of us have either run out of stuff to work on or just lack the inspiration needed. I hope this list can help kind of get your creative juices going and get you out of your funk. Sorry, I had to. Please keep watching. So, here are 5 ways you can get better at music in 2020. Number 1, practice. Okay, this was a no-brainer and I have to get it out of the way, but the best possible way to get better at music is to not be lazy and just to practice your instrument. It's so easy to get complacent when we aren't performing or auditioning or playing in front of others at all. The best tip I can give here is just think about how good you can be now that you have all this extra time. Because listen, right now is the perfect time to practice more than usual. Because honestly, nobody expects you to. Everyone assumes that you're just playing video games and that when they hear you play again, you're gonna sound at best the same as you did before, but honestly, probably worse. So take this as an opportunity to practice everything you've been putting off and just get better. Surprise them next time they see you. Yeah, that means scales, arpeggios, breathing exercises, all of it. I don't like to think of music as a competition, but at least while you're in school, it really is. If you're first chair right now, and that second chair player is practicing more than you, then next year you probably won't be first chair anymore. And this works the other way too. You can easily progress faster and jump ahead a few spots just by practicing more right now. Here, for example, going into 8th grade, I botched my audition, and I got 5th chair out of 5. And our director had a rule where we couldn't challenge for the entire first semester. So I sat in 5th chair for the first semester. When it came to winter break, I took those 2 weeks and I practiced like 2 hours every single day. And when we got back from winter break, I challenged my way from 5th all the way up to 1st. Try this. Always practice like you're trying to go from 5th chair to 1st chair. And make that your new habit. I also want to point out that you shouldn't be discouraged or disappointed if you audition and don't get the results that you wanted, but let it motivate you instead. Number 2, watch videos of yourself. Try to find some videos of your more recent performances. Now, I understand that recent is a relative term here. What I mean is from a time when we were allowed to be around other humans. But find those old videos and watch them, really critique them and make a list of things that you can improve on. Yes, I mean those videos your mom made of you when she forced you to play in front of your family at Thanksgiving. You weren't the only one. Okay, so say for a second you don't have old performance videos, or you run out. Well, at that point, just record yourself practicing instead. This is something I honestly do at least once a week. Nothing will show you what you need to work on more than cringing your way through videos of yourself practicing. Guarantee you sound different than how you hear it. It's like when you hear any recording of yourself ever.
Like me, editing this video.
The first time I ever tried recording myself, I'd been putting it off for months even though I told my teacher differently. I was horrified by what I heard. I over-articulated, my tone sucked, and let's just say I practiced a lot the following weeks. Dissecting your playing in this way can ensure that you are always sounding to your audience how you want to sound. Number 3. Sight reading. Terrifying. Yeah, sight reading is the worst. But we have to practice it because it helps us play harder pieces and just makes us improve more as musicians. But man, nothing makes you feel worse about your playing than sight reading. It clearly points out all of your biggest flaws and makes you want to quit playing faster than watching Jacob Collier videos. So, maybe you always forget the key signature, or are terrible at reading rhythms, or maybe you just always try to play fast music at full tempo the first time. The only way to counter that is just to practice it. You just have to. Maybe find music for a song you really like. I once had a student who wanted to sight read through all of John Williams' music. Harry Potter, Star Wars, Jurassic Park, you name it. You can find most of these online, and honestly it will make sight reading a little bit more enjoyable, a little more fun, because you probably started playing your instrument so you could learn these fun songs, not just, play scales. And if you don't have that music and don't want to look for it, Then just pick up any other music book that you already have, just open to a random page and sight read it. It really is that easy. Sight reading is scary and awful and we all hate it, but at the end of the day, all sight reading is good sight reading. Number 4, read. No, I'm not putting sight reading on this list twice. That would be cruel. What I'm referring to is actual reading. There's so much you can learn about music that has nothing to do with even playing your instrument. Find a book on arranging, such as The Complete Arranger by Sammy Nestico. This book has everything you need to start arranging music, from scoring techniques of virtually all instruments to writing for jazz and symphonic bands. It even talks about how to incorporate synthesizers and other electronic instruments if you're into that. If you're not ready for composing and arranging, maybe try looking into something like music history. I can't even begin to suggest a book here because it depends on what you're interested in, really. If books on the Baroque period, avant-garde jazz, hip-hop, R&B, pop, rock, you name it. Learning about the history and context of the music can change how we listen to it. For example, do you know that rap can tie its roots almost directly to jazz scat singing?
Meet you, baby, at 9:45. Dig the Jubilee when it began. We'll be happy as we can be when we start jumping into Jubilee. While you're down with the low cut back, we're gonna fall and shit attack. I want you glamorous as you can be when we start jumping into Jubilee.
Maybe you just don't understand some music and want to broaden your horizons so you understand what you're listening to. In that case, try reading something a little bit less traditional, like Ted Goya's book, How to Listen to Jazz, which is exactly what it sounds like. He breaks down what jazz is and what to listen for, so you can understand and appreciate the music better. We often get so focused by learning our technique and our scales that we forget why we liked playing the music, or how the music got to this point, or just how to enjoy it more as a listener. Filling in these gaps can help us understand why we have to learn all of this theory, and how we can make our audience enjoy more of what we have to play. Number 5, build a community. This is probably the most important point of all. Music is about playing with other musicians. It's about collaborating and building relationships. I know, we can feel so alienated right now, and it's so hard when we can't even get together in a room and play the music that we love. But let's fight that. So, how can we build a community around us? Well, start by reaching out to your friends and talk to them about some song you're working on and see what they're working on too. Maybe try to get a group together to talk about those things like once a week or something. I know, we're all probably sick of Zoom right now. And the last thing you want to do after a full day of Zoom is get another Zoom call. But try it out. Maybe you can even work on the same songs and compare each week and help each other and give each other honest feedback. You can even record yourselves playing and try to put them together in GarageBand or something later. I've seen videos of full big bands doing this recently, and they sound awesome. You can also follow some of your favorite bands and artists on Instagram and TikTok. Most of them are itching to play music right now, so they're posting a ton. And don't be afraid to reach out to them. Tweet them, send them a DM, and tell them how much you love what they do. I know this might seem pointless, but try building a relationship with them. Maybe even see if you can take a Skype lesson with them or something. I can tell you most instrumentalists right now would love that. Everyone wants more students right now. As a senior in high school, I reached out to Eric Marienthal, a jazz saxophonist that I really liked at the time. And I asked him if I could take a lesson with him. He said, yes, absolutely. And a week later it happened. If you've never experienced how supportive the music community is, I urge you to reach out. You'll be shocked. Building this community around us of friends and other musicians can make what has been the worst year for live music ever bearable. If nothing I said before this has inspired you, let your community inspire you. Well, that's my take on 5 ways to get better at music in 2020. If you like this video and want to see more, I'll be posting once a week about various topics, from broad overviews like this, to practical instructional videos, to philosophical musical satire. And if there are any other topics you want to talk about, feel free to comment below. Also, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and smash the notification bell so you get notified the next time I post. One last thing, practice.